just to sort of finalize the process of refraction, there's just a couple of odd things you have to be aware of. You can get asked this question in the exam as a very common sort of 3 marker at GCSE level. And look, you do need to understand this for AS level as well in relation to your AS Unit 2 when you look at waves. Now, we've seen in those previous diagrams that when a water wave goes from deep water and then moves into shallow water, we talked about the fact that the wave, it slows down, its speed reduces. But if we come across here related to our wave equation here, which we can see on the right-hand side, we've got our V for speed, or F for frequency, and lambda for our wavelength. Whenever that speed decreases, we can actually see in this diagram that our wavelength also decreases, but the frequency of the waves always remain constant. Now you can get asked to describe what happens those 3 quantities in these conditions, and it's 1 mark for each one. So again, just be careful. Again, your frequency will always be fixed. And in this unique situation, when we're going from deep water to shallow water, the speed is reduced and the wavelength is reduced as well. Now, the only alternative you might possibly get asked would be, of course, the reverse of that process. When we're going from shallow water, and we're then going into deeper water. Now, again, you would have hopefully touched upon that in the previous videos, that whenever you're going from shallow to deep water, the speed of the waves increases, they go up, and we can see very clearly from the diagram we've completed that actually results in the wavelength increase, and you can see a very small wavelength beforehand and a much bigger wavelength afterwards. But critically, again, the frequency does remain fixed. And again, that's a pretty straightforward 3 marks in the exam. But again, you'd be surprised how many students tend to lose out on those marks. So make sure, again, you don't drop those marks. And you do need to understand this stuff if you're intending to do physics for A level as well.